All right, bet. Go. All right, so recording. All right, so what's today's date? Saturday, 25th. All right, cool. So we have, I think the monthly closes on Thursday, does it? Right, closes on Thursday, yeah. So Thursday, technically Friday at 4, kind of. Which means we have one more week to see what this wants to do in terms of, direction. So like I said on Wednesday, pay attention to reactions off of inefficient pricing, right? So we got the reaction, right? Got the BOS intraday, and we got another BOS intraday. So that would have been break even and potentially even partial staking from that perspective. But the thing that happened was from an H4 perspective, right? You can consider this entire thing here SC to an extent. Obviously, we can zoom in for that, but that just shows structure is intact. And as soon as we saw this, right, shoot down and then pretty much make a complete recovery within New York session, that just shows that prices, essentially this would have been the real play of the day, not, this, right? So when we're looking at it from, perspective of trend, perspective of, let me see, where was it? It was over here. In perspective of trend, in perspective of just continuing structure here, right? You can consider here inefficient pricing, right? That the reaction to target that, and that reaction caused obviously that inefficiency fill there. And then from a lower time frame perspective, right, this did give quite a bit of time before it gave, that full on, move. So when we're looking at this from DXY, right, it's pretty hard here to catch this move, right? All it is a range, and obviously we can't see the volume that's happening. So when we look at EURUSD from the same perspective, let's see. I believe that was, what date was that? The 23rd, all right. That was here, I believe, yeah. So that was around here. It's irrelevant to what happened on the left here, but when we're thinking perspective of, continuation, obviously this is previous structure, which means probably from an H4, that's an efficiency fill, which it is, as you can see. Probably if I zoom out more, it'll make more sense. All right, from there, you see that you can even consider that a tap of H8 SC, even though they're pretty big candles, but all that does is create POIs for us, right? So in that perspective now that we understand that that's a potential move, and it also is during the kill zone, right? So let me highlight the kill zone really quick, which is pretty much 7 to 10, right? So what do I call it? Kill zone? I just call that the overlap. That's what I call overlap. And as you can see, that's when that happened. So in terms of probability, this is highly probable just due to the fact that this happened during the kill zone, as you can see there, right? And when you zoom in, right, in the perspective here of, seeing that reaction, right, automatically inclines me to believe that, hold on, where's my volume? That we could see that reversal just due to that simple reaction, but you have to assume that that's the peak, right? Which is obviously not as conservative as waiting for the full BOS here and then catching the continuation down. Like, for example, if you wouldn't have just avoided this, you look down, right? Inefficiency fill here, right? You could even put your stop just above previous high, which is a bit over 2 pips, not bad. And for there, you write it down. But in terms of, trying being more aggressive and trying to play it during, the kill zone, right? Let's say we got the reaction, just off of here, right? Technically, that could be considered an SC, but we're already in M1, and if you don't have access to your seconds timeframes, in the perspective of trying to figure out, you know, where the SC is, you can't really assume that it's just this whole body here, so you just assume the whole candle, right? And even though that's the case, it's still relatively small, right? It's a 12 pip, you know, candle, and when you obviously split it in half, it becomes 6, right? So now that you see that, the whole POI now is obviously in the 50% to 100%. Right? If you have seconds time frame, I'm pretty sure you can figure out exactly what candle's inside that. But just for clarity here, if you don't have that, you just use the whole candle. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a 6 pip stop, but what matters is the RR, right? So let's take that off. Right, and then you put your stop just above the high. You can even do it there, 6 pips. That's well enough for, you know, to give it room. All right, and when you're thinking of target, let me extend this out. Right, you're obviously your first swing target will obviously be to the downside, right? So this is in terms of swing, right? If we're looking intraday, right, your first target is this inefficiency here, right? So target 1 is already a 5 to 1, 6 to 1, anywhere in between 5, 6 to 1, not bad. You know, it could be better, but not bad at all. And then from there, you can either target the first low here, right? But when we're thinking in terms of structure, right? If we're aiming for this low here, if it reaches this low, that automatically assumes me that this is a pretty much a 90 to 95% retracement. So any pullback now would only be reentry. So if I'm aiming here, right, and I don't want a TP just yet, right? If anything, you can just wait for the pullback if you get one, because best case is you don't, which you pretty much kind of didn't here, besides, you know, potential SC inside here. But as you can see, this gave a reaction from that SC, then gave another reaction from potentially an SC inside of here. And what we can look for them here in a bit. Right, and so price reacted again, potentially in there. And then now that reaction gave essential equal lows, kind of, even though kind of together. But still, as you can see, the momentum is heavily to downside. So first swing target, right, 14 to 1, which ideally isn't the best, right? Obviously, you know, we can do way better than that. But if you would have wanted to hold until the point where you really have an excuse to exit, right? When we're looking at this whole downside move, right? We see, hold on. First higher low, second higher low, continuation, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So as you can see, the structure never broke. So once we get that TP hit from our first swing bias, you can easily take a partial or whatever you want to do, right? But now we're seeing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Cool. So what happens? Right here, the sell volume diminishing. It's not existent. So when that's the case, right, that obviously you expect the reaction of the upside. But the cool thing about this reaction is BOS, right? So although this did take more time to move up than it did to move down, what you have to notice is the fact that this broke the structure, right? This broke the previous high here, and this broke the previous high here. I'm speaking about that high. So now you can exit that trade at a 14, 15 to 1 and look for a second entry, right? So we it's shown its hand that it wants to reverse, right? And this is the next day. This is during London, like literally right at London Open. So we see a BOS there. So when we're thinking reentry, right, obviously we want premium pricing for a buy, which is in here. So now to pretty much add more precision, right, in terms of structure, you have a low and now we have a higher low. So ideally you wouldn't want this lower low, this higher low to break to, invalidate the bias, right? And the reason why I'm using this higher low and not this higher low is because this higher low is a premium, right? Yes, you can assume this is a structure point, but you're still in a discounted price. So it's essentially, improbable. So to take that out, right, what do we do from here? What do I see? I see this candle that takes out previous liquidity. As you can see there, takes it out and then gives you a move, right? So it's the same things that we would do on an intraday swing basis, just same things as on a smaller time frame. And so since we're in M1, like I said again, and this is a really small candle, I just use the whole candle in this scenario. So let me, yeah, so you see now that's your POI, and that is probably like a 1 pip range, 2 pip range. Cool. So even if you waited there, right, you can wait for that price action to give you, signs of reversal, and you could have easily taken it after that closure. So now your stop loss is like a 3.5. So when we're looking at this now from an intraday bias, right? First intraday target is obviously to take out that high low. That lower high, because now we're assuming bullish structure. So we have to take out the previous swing points or intraday points, whichever one you want to target. So this will be an intraday target. And when zooming out, well, first off, that's so annoying. That's already 8-1. So after a 14-1 closure, this is already a 9-1. All right, and that's only intraday. This is about an hour and a half. So targeting next set of liquidity here, equal highs, 11-1, right? Then targeting that's targeting next set of equal highs there, 15-1. So I'm showing you every target just because you can choose whichever one you want to target, whichever seems realistic to you, right? But obviously, oh shit. From this context now, you've now broken a very important deal of structure here, right? And by that I mean this here, because price did not break here for a long time. As you can see, 1 higher low, 2 higher lows, 3 higher lows, 4 higher lows, 5 lower highs, 5, 6, 7, 8 from a scalping structure bias. So now that those broke, right, you can assume shift of momentum, right? So obviously next target is next high here, continuation high, which is already 23-1. And since it's already, about to be the end of overlap, you can easily just quit there. Not quit there, but like get out of the trade, and that's your 23-1, unless you're looking at the swing bias, which is what everybody's doing. And if you would have held that, you already caught the bottom of last week, right? And that weekly closure was actually pretty lit, as you can see. So is my bias still the same? Fuck yes. Like, why would I want to incline or tell myself that I'm bearish on EU when we just got that structure shift? So I was telling you that that's what we were looking for all week, right? And although we broke even 2 to 3 times, the point is to get the move without losing capital, right? So me personally, I did take 1 L, It was like 1%, I think, and that's fine because now this is showing its hand, and now we just have to look for the reentry to potentially take it higher. So from an intraday basis, right? If we break this, this open of this last indecision candle, then that's going to incline me to believe that we're looking at a 90% retracement, and then that's when we can change bias to the downside. But since we already broke structure here, I want to incline to those buys. So it's just a matter of waiting to see what it does now post reaction. And that's essentially how you play that. I was going to do previous markups on that, but I'd rather just show you guys live. Saves a lot of time. But that's pretty much my rant for EU today. DXY wasn't as clean, right? Which is why I wanted to show show EU's hand instead of DXY's hand, because as you can see, this is sloppy here, whereas it wasn't sloppy on EU for the sell. And then here, this is sloppy for the EU buys. So I showed you the EU buys instead of the DXY sells. But this looks solid too, like even from structure perspective, looks solid. The only issue now is obviously the inefficient pricing that's present in both pairs. And in perspective of, premium and discount, assuming that's the high, premium pricing starts at the inefficiency fill. So that's good to know. So it's cool to notice. We'll see what happens. And yeah, we'll update on Wednesday, see how that goes. But yeah, that's pretty much my rant for today. All right, let's see. What do you guys have to say? What were we trading this week? What happened this week, guys? So DX1 EU correlate inversely? Yes, to an extent. Not 100% though. I'd say like 80%. Which is why I like to use both. Because if I don't get a setup on either, then it's most likely not going to happen. Yeah, so what are we saying, guys? All right, I'll just chilling. Let's see. I use momentum kind of confirmation to sell. Yeah, that does look good there. Just waiting though. This will probably not even happen till like Monday, New York. So I'm chilling. I'm not even gonna look at this come Sunday's open.
So like you look at yeah, it's ugly, but like you see where basically where the big week began. Huh?
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, like
structure bearish, low key.
Well, it was more intraday, but like what I was looking at was
BOS. This did not reach equilibrium. I can already tell just by looking at it. Oh, actually, it did reach equilibrium. right? Reach equilibrium.
Yeah, I saw it off the 10
Continuation,
minute in here.
right? Even I'm pretty sure you, in theory here, that's your reaction, and here's your follow through.
Yeah, I saw it off the 10 minute in here, like up top there.
All right, cool. So when we're looking at this, right, this is your reaction, this is your test. So the test is ideally what you want to look into, because if that test is broken, then rip. So let's see if I can find this. Nothing, 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 nothing. Can't see nothing. All right, cool. So in theory, right, I'm going to look into the open. Right, and then measure 50% of that. Yeah, cool. So see that? Pretty much to the T there. Even if you don't see the SC, using the logic itself will benefit you. And as you can see, that's what happened there.
Yeah, I didn't get. That was like around. That was really early. I missed
I
that.
can't really. Hold on. Let me turn off the music.
Oh.
I forgot I was connected to my Bluetooth. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was saying like, yeah, I didn't catch the time. I saw that. That was what made me go ahead and get in during like kind of like a pullback. That was what made me get in during a pullback. But just understanding that alone, like, made me get in around here.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm trying to get this to where I can hear you. Microphone, speaker. No. There we go. All right, can you say something now?
Yeah. You hear me?
All right, bet. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I was just saying like, yeah, I didn't even catch this. But like I kind of did similar to what you did and helped me understand, especially with this being almost 90% any pullback as a retracement. So yeah, that was what made me get in when I woke up. And then just caught it, just ran after that.
And that's fine. It's not about catching the bottoms or the highs, but it's about catching the actual move itself, which is something that I used to fuck up with back in the day. Is like, and I still kind of do it sometimes too. Is like, if I don't catch the bottom, then I don't like, I tend to like just leave it alone, just because I don't want to take a stupid loss. But in theory, bro, some of these reentries here, they can give you so much better RR than even this entry itself. And once you realize that, you just become more conservative, and essentially you can really just catch the entire, like, pretty much even half of the move with the same or greater RR than as you would with this one. So although this already happened, and let's say you wake up here, then that's fine. Just look for that reentry, right? BOS, right? Look for anything here. Look for anything here. If anything, BOS again, right? Look for anything here, and then ride that shit, As long as you're continuing your structure from higher time frame, then you're straight, right? Because obviously the first thing you guys saw me do was analyze where structure is from an intraday basis, right? Obviously first your swing basis, which is where I saw this, and I was like, okay, maybe we might be looking at bearish structure. Then it's intraday, right? Looking bearish. It's just the only thing here that's worrying me is the fact that there's this, I don't consider that equal lows just yet. This looks too clean to me. Like, I don't want to consider this equal lows. And then people will be like, inefficiency targeting equal lows there. I don't want to do that just because it looks too clean. So what I'm thinking is like, yes, we'll get the reaction there, but it's like, this is a break of structure there from an intraday basis. So to an extent, this can literally just fill inefficiency here and then keep going up.
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted a little. I like GCAD, but I don't know if if it wants to go higher or what. Like, even from a weekly, like I was just looking at the weekly, and I feel like it wants to drop. I don't know. I'm not sure though.
I
Just
would,
because it's
I don't want to
struggling.
say that. You see, because like, yes, you know, the weekly did react here. The weekly reacted there, but like, just because it reacted doesn't mean you're gonna get that follow through. And what people aren't gonna notice, people aren't gonna notice this here. You know, that potential, that this could have potentially been a move, whether it's something here or even here, even though it didn't fully touch it, right? The bounce is what matters to me. Does that make sense? Like,
No, yeah, and it was
just
kind of like some
that bounce.
accumulation down in here to me, like on like a
And
1
look at
hour.
that. Yeah. And look at that monthly too. You know,
Yeah,
for all we know, this is essentially, you know, rejection wick and then continuation, right? Because it's looking sloppy though. It's looking really sloppy. Um, I would believe that though, just in terms of, you know, structure from here now, what I'm seeing is like, yo, we failure to break a lower low. So essentially, this was your reaction from this to give you that downside move. And this failed to break that low, and then it pretty much hit the structure on top. So it hit the structure on top, and then it came back and it bounced. So that could incline me that this is now a higher low to incline upward bias.
hmm,
But it's interesting to see though, and like now looking at it from that monthly, it makes sense, right? Because we got the bounce here, and then we got the inefficiency fill here, right? We then came up, and now we essentially have technically to an extent equal lows. But what I'm more so acknowledging here is the fact that, hold on, right? 3 candles in comparison to 5, right? It's taking so much effort for this to come down, right? Even though you did catch good intraday plays, you got to zoom out, and that looks like it took a ton of effort for it to come down, right? And as you can see, the volume is peaking, but it's no real momentum with it.
hmm.
So just pay attention to the structure, right? And like I said, dude, like this is giving me like, you know, it's giving me like a kind of weird vibe that it wants to go up. Is that BOS there? It's too clean.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't really like just marrying the sales yet. I wasn't marrying it. That's why I bought in here Friday.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't hold over the weekend. I never hold over the weekend. I just don't. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's good though.
Hey,
I mean, if it works for you, it works for you.
can you look at the 4 hour real quick? I'm curious about something. So it's more
Yeah,
so
see that.
this way.
See that right
Like
there too. Rejection.
no, I was curious about what you thought about the price action lower before we got up here.
Oh,
Um,
this right here looks like a scam too.
yeah, this right. Yeah. So okay, I was curious. Like I remember this. It probably looks better on the 1 hour, but yeah, this is what made me pick up um GCAD. I like this. I saw um potential scam right
Yeah,
here.
scam too.
Yep.
Perfect. Right. And notice here, right, our secondary test, right? So we have our selling climax. Our selling climax didn't peak, but as I said in the video, it's like I usually don't see selling climaxes peak in bearish volume unless it's like a scam one. But like what to notice here is like look at um your second ST, right? ST1 is here, ST2 is here, and look at that. There's no volume present, right?
Mm,
Showing instability, gave the reaction, right? Gave you that 90% retracement, and then right, your first LPS and second LPS happened there. So a bit sloppy to get the entry here, but the fact that it completed is what, you know, is what you should care about, and then you should be looking for like these entries,
yeah.
and then that's how you stack, and then just hold that shit and pretty much bank. Because whenever that happens and you get that shift, you can easily aim for these targets up here. and that's like a couple, I think maybe 1,000 pips, right? So let's say you cut the bottom
Yeah.
entries, you got 1,300. Good swing. Which is still in progress. Obviously, your first target would have been here. There, 600, solid. Even though it's very volatile, you would have just needed to stay the fuck away from it and just let your position ride. But yeah, I mean, I kind of want to incline to bias. Upside bias there. Ooh, but yeah, that's interesting though. Really interesting, right? We sweep liquidity. Oops. Sweep liquidity, right? Created a scam, right? Essential breaker structure there. So that's ugly. Hold on. Something like that would be cool. Yeah, this is still falling here. Crazy.
Yeah, I seen you in this, and I'm like, I saw the skim up here. I just didn't act. I didn't act at all.
This is trade of the quarter there. I mean, I really don't have a reason to close it, even though I shed like 70% of the position. I'm just like, fuck. I mean, I don't care. It's a solid, like bragging rights. Like, yo, yeah, I caught GA's high, so fuck you. No, but yeah, these are all interesting studies. Like it's really weird. Like some GBPs I'd be bullish on, but like this one I'm bearish on. You know, especially once we get that quarter closure in a couple months, or like in 2 months. That's gonna be solid, good, solid 6 month, as you can see there. It just depends on how this wants to play out. But yeah, it's cool, chilling. So many people bought here, bro. It's crazy to me. So many people bought here.
I know. I saw it.
But it's like, bro, like the only reason I would want to buy it is a hedge, but I don't really need to risk that because the structure just broke here. So it's chilling. Yeah, but this is pretty cool. Depending on how far this goes, I'll definitely make a video on it or something. Make a post on it or something.
Yeah, that's like my thoughts on it now is like where it would go and like.
Well, who cares where it goes? Just catch the ride, bro.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's
Here's
that
not
bottom
about scenarios like this, bro. It's not about trying to catch that reversal. It's just trying to catch the wave, bro. Because like in my opinion, this wave hasn't even started yet. Because look at how long this took to correct. It took like 6 months, I believe. Day range. This whole corrective structure here is 100 days, but this whole corrective structure in general here is lasted 247 days. That's 6 months. You know. And then from a weekly perspective, bro, it's like I'm really paying attention to that bigger picture in terms of momentum, right? Let's say we came back up here, relatively same distance here. I mean, same amounts of pips, right? So when we're thinking momentum, it's like, right, this took 3 months, no, 5 months, I'm sorry, to bottom out. But then it took, that's, fuck, let me do the math. That took 43 months. Fuck, is that true? Yeah. Since 2016, that took 43 months to recover what it took 3 months to do, right? So this is really just depending on how we close the next month or two, this is going to show us what direction this wants to take for the rest of the year. And if this is the case, then if it breaks like even more structure down, then we're looking at a fat swing. So all it is about catching that wave. And these are like your position trades. Right? Fuck the intradays, catch the bigger moves and trade less, hold longer, and you chill, you know?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, does anybody else have any questions or anything? I mean, we're only like 30 minutes into this. Anybody have any more questions or just concerns or anything? How's the course? How's the videos? How's the pair breakdowns? How's the previous markups? Everything. Yeah, so the last update I made on these was the 17th. Probably make another update this week, depending on how we play out. But I mean, I kind of showed you what I was going to post today. But yeah. And also look at this momentum here. Interesting. Right, look at this. Right, and notice that this is moving even on not even that much volume. Imagine if we see a big spike in volume. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're good, guys. If you guys don't have any questions, I think we're good. Quick session.
Kanye's a millionaire or billionaire.
What's up?
I was saying your boy Kanye is a billionaire.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm glad I contributed by buying some of his shoes.
Nah, but you see, most of his money is from Yeezys.
Yeah, bro. I mean, he's releasing so many GRs, and like, I don't blame him. Like, make your money, bro. Everybody wins, and he makes his bread.
The true lesson in this is date a Kardashian.
Pretty much. I mean, bro, date a girl with clout. I mean, like, I'm the biggest Travis Scott fan. I've been a big Travis Scott fan for years, but like, bro, like, this dude blew up because he's dating Kylie Jenner. Like, come on.
The Fortnite concert was lit.
I missed it, bro. I literally, like, I turned it on right when it finished. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we're good, guys. Chilling. Let's go ahead and end this.
Nah, Travis was lit when I saw